Void. Void.
Live from virtual Kentucky, we welcome race fans one and all back to another Green Flag TV presentation. Welcome to the TNGG IEL Truck Series and tonight's running of the TNGG Bluegrass 100. My name is Olabampo, bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from virtual Sparta, Kentucky, and of course, a very classic rendition of the Kentucky Speedway. This track has not seen use in real-world NASCAR for now several years, and of course, we are running the older version before it was reprofiled back in 2016. It is, of course, the ever-classic layout from 2011, a layout that has long been considered to have provided better racing, and no doubt will be giving us an interesting show then here tonight to see how we'll be kicking off race number 16. We look to your championship standings, and going into race 16, Christopher Howell continues to maintain his points lead by about 39 ahead of Aaron Raymond. Brad Slagle still sitting almost 100 points back now in that third position, still looking to be further and further down and out of the fight, while Christopher Howell and Aaron Raymond are going to be looking to scrap it out continuously here tonight for the race lead, with both racers having, of course, scheduled to run in tonight's running here at the Kentucky Speedway. 100 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway will make up tonight's running. Currently qualifying is underway. We got nobody on track though as it stands, and there is, I think, a lot to do over the course of this evening if drivers want to get themselves sorted, to have themselves with a solid run here in this one. But for now, as we are getting set to close things out here in the qualifying session, we'll be able to see Christopher Howell work his way out to the racing circuit, and Howell in his number 1 1111 Toyota Tundra will work his way out to the racetrack into turn numbers 1 and 2 down on the bottom of the racetrack. So we'll get our first proper effort of qualifying here tonight, and we'll get a good view on what we can expect to see from these trucks over the course of this 100-lap race. It'll be third quick for the driver out of Moyock, North Carolina, and that'll be good enough. He's going to abort his secondary lap. So as qualifying continues to work its way through, we're going to take a quick step back. We'll be back with your starting grid here on Green Flag TV in just a minute.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back at the Kentucky Speedway. We are getting set to go for, of course, our very first run here in this one. The first laps of race number 16. Got about 10 seconds left in qualifying, and with that all said and done, we'll get set to go racing with 17 trucks getting set to take it to the starting grid here in this one. So with all of that now in place, here's how your race is going to line up for the TNGG Bluegrass 100. It is going to be Ryan Dingler for Badger Racing making his first ever TNGG start alongside Grant Peterson, his Badger Racing teammate. They'll lock out the front row. Christopher Howell will be down in third with Matt Cherry taking it up in the number 4 spot, also in his first ever start. You're going to have the likes here of Julian Ballou for 5th place out of row number 3 out of Carolina, with Brennan Gregg for Average Joe Motorsports down in 6th. Chris Gore for Cyclone Motorsports and Brad Slager for AJM going to be on row number 4. Casey Ellis for Slightly Talented Drivers, and John Bualda Jr. for Jackdown Motorsports going to be rounding out the top 10. Robert Jordan is in 11th with Tristan Baer in 12th. We are going to find ourselves with Greg Pillar, Aaron Raymond, Bobby Blowers, Thomas Lane Jr., and R.J. Buchanan to round out the field. Already, we are rolling off of the grid. This was a very quick grading time here in this one, and most notably going to be the Badger Racing crew. Take a look at this. We've seen them in the Omar Sorrell Xfinity Series and the Speed Cup Series most prominently. They are both going to be finding themselves racing here on this amazing Saturday night racing action here. They are all going to be sent to the tail end of the longest line, though, being newer to the game here in this one. So that's going to be all settled and done, as they're going to go to the tail of the field, but they'll be looking to have themselves with a good run up in front. Christopher Howell will take the pole. Field working its way through turn numbers 3 and 4. We want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us for some more Saturday Night Truck Series racing action as the pace truck pulls down and then leave it in the hands of Christopher Howell, who will take us to the Geico, well, not really Geico restart zone, but just the restart zone. Green flag is out from virtual Sparta, Kentucky. Brad Slagle way into the infield grass. He's going to get himself sorted back up onto the racetrack. He's going to spin it again down to the inside, sliding into the infield and right down almost to pit road. Slagle just going to keep it out of the lane. He'll spin it all the way around. No yellow flag. We will keep it green. Brennan Gregg working the back straightaway as we hightail it down in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. Brad Slagle still trying to get himself sorted. He's just now got himself settled. He'll rock it back off to turn number 1. Here comes Brennan Gregg, meanwhile, still searching for win number 1. Coming through to the front straightaway. He'll lead lap number 2. And back behind, this is what went down with Brad Slagle, to see him go around and fall all the way to the tail end of this field. I believe got a tip from Julian Ballou. That sent him to the inside of the 052 Toyota Tundra. Clipped the grass. That's really what did him in, because that caused him to get loose, out of control, and eventually lost it fully. He was spinning all the way back to the inside line and just able to keep it out of pit road. Greg leads the way. Julian Ballou trying to hound Christopher Howell for that number 2 spot as he worked the back straightaway. The 51 and the 1 going to go nose to tail as we work down to 3 and 4. Lower banks here at the Kentucky Speedway, looking to make the most of it for all of these drivers, but so far, apart from that initial scare right out of the gate, we're off to a pretty good jump. Further behind, you got Robert Jordan trying to make a move on KCL, as this will be for the number 6 spot, trying to power for the outside line. Not going to have anything happen, though, as Ellis going to keep it up there in the lead for that number 6 spot. Robert Jordan trying to open something up on the high side. That'll only cause him to drop back, though, to John Bawalda Jr. Further down the field, Ryan Dingler trying to push his way up through this field. He's working to the inside of Bobby Blowers as we will work off of turn numbers 3 and 4. And that'll be a move for the outside. Dingler is up and into the top 10 after being sent to the rear of the field early on. Grant Peterson trying to follow suit in the number 46 Tundra down on the bottom. They're going to get a bit loose, though, with the 48 of Matt Cherry as we work back to 3 and 4. The High Point crew looking very strong overall. Aaron Raymond pokes to the inside of Julian Ballou, going for the podium into the tri-oval, and he'll get him down to turn 1. So Raymond is going to go through to the number 1 spot now. Further down behind, Grant Peterson setting up that move on Blowers. He'll work to the inside. Can he get there, though, through to 3 and 4 down the backstretch? Don't believe he will. The 71 holding the outside line, but I'll give Peterson credit. And he's trying to make that stick on the bottom, but the dirty air, you can tell, catching him out in a big way. And Peterson forced to tuck back in line. Here comes Matt Cherry, might look for offensive. Further back behind, R.J. Buchanan and Tristan buyer going side by side. They're going to exchange hands for 15 into turn numbers 1 and 2. John Buwalda Jr. being caught by Ryan Dingler. Dingler working to the top shelf. Trying to make this move all the way. Coming on up towards turn number 1. He'll get by Buwalda. Now looking to set up the 74 of Robert Jordan. Working back to the top shelf and leaning on the door there of Robert Jordan. Going to fire around the outside, and Jordan going to be falling back to 8th. Buwalda trying to set him up for 9th. Got a lot of fighting here in the mid-pack. We're already 10 down, 90 to go. Cherry now looks to make an attack on Bobby Blowers. Thomas Lane Jr. finds himself under threat by Grant Peterson. Peterson looking to the inside in the 46. He'll shoot for the bottom. Grant Peterson goes through. Here comes Blowers in the 71 trying to make a move as well to freight train that 38 truck on the top side. All the while, John Buwalda Jr. trying to make the move on Jordan to lead the way in this about 6-truck battle pack, working through 1 and 2. Peterson trying for 3 wide to the back straightaway. Flowers backs out from the bottom. And way up the hill is Robert Jordan and Thomas Lane Jr. They're both going to lose a huge handful of spots as a result. Falling down, Casey Ellis under pressure by Dingler as well. Lap steadily ticking away. Flowers trying to go for the over-under on John Buwalda Jr. He'll set up a great run on the HendrickCars.com Chevy Silverado down the backstretch into turn numbers 3 and 4. Flowers is through. Buwalda started to slip back. Here comes Matt Cherry. Cherry making the move into the top 10 for the first time all night long. Up front, Brennan Gregg leads the way from Christopher Howell. Aaron Raymond runs 3rd. Running line astern about within a second of each other as it stands. 4/10 from the 27 back to the 1. All the side-by-side battling is deep in the pack with Thomas Lane Jr. losing out again to Greg Pillar, now possibly to Robert Jordan as well, as Jordan trying to make a move on the high side. The outside lane coming into play early here to the TNGG Bluegrass 100, and whoa, Chris Gore way up the hill, and he's into the wall. Chris Gore, make that Casey Ellis, getting up and into the outside wall over in turn numbers 3 and 4. We'll take a look back. See Dingler, make that Peterson looking to make a move to the bottom, and has he gotten into Casey Ellis potentially? Peterson looks low, sends it in, and Ellis just missed the corner, and that's what tracked him up and just kept it out of the outside wall. If not, given just the smallest of little brushes. Tonight's race is a cash race. It is going to be the 3rd cash race, I think the 4th cash race, of the season. $100 will go to the race winner, provided they are in the top 26 in points. So far, none of the races that have won our cash races have met that criteria. But the possibility is always very much there. So $100 to the race winner if they're within the top 26 in the points. Brennan Gregg, believe, will just barely meet that criteria. He will, as he sits 17th in the point standings entering tonight. Ryan Dingler made the move on Julian Ballou down to the inside of 1 and 2. He'll track clear for 4th. On the exit of turns 1 and 2, but Ballou back to the inside, not looking to let the Badger Racing driver go easily. They're going to rub doors. Down to turns 3 and 4. Dingler getting the elbows out as they're going to go side by side off of turn number 4. Working the top shelf. Peterson get the track clear of Ballou as Dingler has cleared. Peterson now trying to be the one to follow suit. Ballou pinching the 46 up, but Peterson's going to force the issue, and he'll pull clear off of turn number 4. RJ Buchanan, meanwhile, going side by side with Casey Ellis. Ellis again way up the racetrack, right to the marble, sacrificing a lot of time in that number 53 truck, as he has not been able to get himself with necessarily the best of runs. Bobby Blowers also continuing on his charge up through the field. Gets around Ballou for 6th. Bobby Blowers now up 9. Aaron Raymond, meanwhile, to the podium. He is up 11 now. And right up the back bumper now of Christopher Howell. The last full-on mile and a half race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway about 2 months ago, Raymond was set to take that limb by over 10 seconds with a great pit call to only go for 2 tires. That being said, Raymond lost that race by 2 thou due to a late race caution that put us into green-white checker territory. So we'll see if they'll end up being a repeat for that tonight, as meanwhile Greg Pillar and Chris Gore thought for a moment they would go and duke it out, but Gore's going to miss turn 4. How about the Badger Racing teammates? They're looking to fight it out. Peterson to the outside of Dingler. The Hex Armor Tundra versus the High Point Tundra, and the High Point up on the high side. We'll see Grant Peterson charge through to 4th. Brilliant overtake there for Grant Peterson. Puts himself up and around Ryan Dingler, while behind Blowers and Cherry fight amongst themselves. This is for 6th. Cherry trying to find the bottom. He'll straddle the apron, though. He'll lose time. Bobby Blowers will maintain that run in 6th, while John Buwalda Jr., meanwhile, losing out to Casey Ellis potentially. Trying for the inside. Ellis too wide up. Buwalda secures 12th, maybe, just barely. Ellis swapping back for the inside now, trying to re-attack down for turn 3. Ellis goes through. Here is Thomas Lane Jr. Meanwhile, Badger Racing hits pit road. Peterson, Dingler, Cherry all in on the same lap. Everybody else staying out. Aaron Raymond will now be the next driver to hit pit road, and I'm expecting we're going to be seeing a good chunk of this field coming with him in just a little while. Here comes Chris Gore, Greg Pillar, Julian Ballou all coming in. Bawalda, Bear, and more all down and into the lane. Brennan Gregg stays out on the racetrack, but for how long? Slowing up, and Brennan Gregg will hit pit road. Christopher Howell is in right behind. Bobby Blowers comes in as well. R.J. Buchanan comes in. Casey Ellis. Aaron Raymond, as expected, taking only 2 tires on his pit stop with a 10.67 second stop in the box. Julian Ballou, same story. As here is the rest. As R.J. Buchanan finding with some trouble. We'll get back to that in a moment. The rest of this field very much looking to do battle up on the racetrack as we cross start finish to lap number 30. Make that 29, sorry. Raymond inherits the race lead from Brad Slagle, but Slagle is yet to pit. We'll get a view on what happened here to R.J. Buchanan. This is coming into his pit box. He's a bit further down the field. It's saying that he took a tow. He's already in pit road, and oh, interesting. So he had a connection difficulty, and because he stopped in his box, it assumed he took a tow, when in fact he didn't. That's a new one. Matt Cherry, meanwhile, sets the timing charts alight, goes 32.15, fastest lap out of anybody so far this afternoon. Take a look at all of that. That's going to be immediately topped by Brennan Gregg, who goes to 32.025. Buchanan, Ellis, Pillar, all running line astern. Bawalda and Gore in the mix. Jordan, I see, is there. Thomas Lane Jr. in the fray. Past 1/3 distance. Still rolling strong. Walden now will look to the outside of Buchanan, trying to make a move on the Canadian. Puts Bawalda up to 11th, but still has to chase after Greg Pillar up the road. As time steadily continues to tick away from the Kentucky Speedway. With everything still looking to potentially heat on up, well, let's take in the sights and sound of the Kentucky Speedway as you watch on with the battle for 12th on back. Thomas Lane Jr. working for the outside as this battle continues. For 10th on back, Lane looking to make a move on John Walter Jr. He's tried it several times. So far has not been able to make the move stick. Can he get it this time though? Around the outside of 2. And just able to make something happen. Julian Ballou, meanwhile, had a technical problem in the midst of that, and now he comes to pit road. Major, major damage aboard the number 51 truck. We'll try to get a look as, well, he's already been put in defense when he pops back in on lap number 40, so not sure we'll be able to get a look on what happened. Meanwhile, Aaron Raymond has been caught by Brennan Gregg. This is the fight for the lead. Remember, Raymond only took 2 tires on his pit stop, as opposed to Brennan Gregg taking 4. Raymond pulled out a good 5-second gap because of that. But that gap has just been closed right back down. Brennan Gregg to the outside, trying to make a move for the lead in 4. Raymond tracks up and clears. Gregg now looking to make a move on the high side again to the tri-oval. But Raymond's defensive game is strong. It'll be a switchback though, top to bottom for the 27. Raymond working the outside. Can he make a move and get clear of Brennan Gregg? Doesn't look like it. Aaron Raymond will fall to second if he can't hold this one around the outside of 1 and 2. He's trying for it. I'll give him credit. He's really fighting this one out right down to the bitter end. But I think Gregg on that tire advantage will be easily able to take this spot away. And it's official. Brennan Gregg back to the race lead. How about Chris Gore and John Bawalda Jr.? Thought they might get into it for a little bit for 12. And tuck back in line. The new Badger Racing trio, though, working the back straightaway, and they're looking pretty solid so far for these 3. Peterson from Dingler from Cherry, all 3 were sent to the tail end of the field. I do believe for just being so new to the series in their first ever start. As they will work their way now through 4th, 5th, and 6th. Average Jump Motorsports trying to make it. A 1-2 Raymond tracking up across the bumper of the Tech for Troops AJM Toyota Tundra. And Christopher Howell going to look to make this happen here. It's back to the bottom for Howell. That's what ended up working for Gregg, was when he switched back to the inside as Raymond will clip the wall. You've also got green flag pit stops coming on up again within the next 6 laps or so. And it's no doubt something that is playing in these drivers' minds. Aaron Raymond being no exception. Archie Buchanan's been trying to work his way back up to the back bumper of Thomas Lane Jr. to scrap it out for the last spot inside the top 10. And as I say that, Aaron Raymond will be the first driver to he'll be the first driver to hit pit road. Dingler, Peterson, Cherry are in with the Campy World number 6 Silverado, and Dingler has spun it. Dingler spins it out, entering pit road right in front of Bobby Blowers. No caution, but a devastating mistake on pit entry for Ryan Dingler could very well cost him the race. Tries to make it in, I think, friendly fire! Grant Peterson runs over Ryan Dingler entering pit road. That is absolutely huge. More drivers come in. The AJM crew is down to the lane. Dingler, I bet, not going to be a happy camper with that. Thomas Lane Jr. is in. Waiting on others like Casey Ellis and Greg Pillett. They're all going to stay out to try to see if they can't get bonus points for leading laps. Still nobody taking 2 tires on the second run of pit stops just yet. Greg Pillar takes up the race lead as R.J. Buchanan will come to pit road. And second run of green flag stops continue. Everybody from 5th on up has yet to stop. Brennan Gregg, the net race leader as it stands. He is pursued closely, though, by Aaron Raymond. Gore to the lane. Greg and Raymond will continue to work their way up on the racetrack. We are well past halfway now, just waiting on the last 4 or so drivers to come on down and take their stops. Christopher Howell will throw down a 31.98. First driver to punch into the 31-second bracket all night long. While Raymond leaning on the back bumper of Brennan Gregg, working the back straightaway. Raymond will power through, potentially the race lead. Robert Jordan will hit pit road in the meantime. While this fight for the lead will rage on down the front straightaway. R.J. Buchanan very much in the way. He's got to be careful here. Don't want to impede these 2 drivers looking to scrap it out right behind you. Get in the way he will, though, forcing them both for the outside. Oh, Greg tried for 3 wide up the middle. No room, though. Raymond slammed the door shut. We hightail it back to 1 and 2. Raymond clears. Greg will do the same in 2, and now they're set to duke it out once again. Dingler, meanwhile, looking to make a move on Bobby Blowers for 5th to punch his way back to the top 5 after being taken out by Grant Peterson. Entering pit road. But Blowers going to pull clear from the high side. So we are well past halfway at this point in time, and I think it is only fitting that we take a run for a Green Flag TV midway race break, and we will look top to bottom throughout the course of your field here tonight. It is Aaron Raymond to lead the way, followed closely behind by Brandon Gregg, looking to challenge for that race lead still. Christopher Howell, in a bit of no man's land, runs in 2nd. Same story for Matt Cherry, who runs in the 4th spot. Bobby Blowers is side-by-side as it stands with Ryan Dingler in the side-by-side fight for 5th place and 6th with Grant Peterson watching on in the number 7 spot. Tomsley Jr. is way back in 8th. He is the last truck on the lead lap. Archie Buchanan is the lucky dog truck, 1 lap down. Casey Ellis is in a fight about half a second ahead of Greg Pillar, who runs in 11th. Chris Gore sits in 12th. And Robert Jordan 6/10 clear of John Bualda Jr. in 14th. Brad Slagle was in 15th. Tristan Beyer was in 16th. And Julian Ballou runs 4 laps down in the number 17 spot. That was a look at your Green Flag TV midway race break. The fight is continuing, though, to rage on here for this fight here for 5th, 6th, and 7th as we get set to sort ourselves out for this fight for the long haul. Once again, Blowers working to the inside of Dingler, and Peterson now trying to find a way to get through as well. They're going to make contact down to 3 and 4. So as the battling will continue to rage on over here at the Kentucky Speedway, we're going to take a quick step back and we'll let things settle down for a little bit more. You're watching the TNGG Bluegrass 100, the TNGG IEL Truck Series live on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Green Flag TV and the TNGG IEL Truck Series. You haven't missed much. We've just been observing this fight here under that last little break there for this fight for the 5th position between Bobby Blowers, Ryan Dingler, and Grant Peterson. Has not gone anywhere, and it is not looking to go anywhere anytime soon. Archie Buchanan has found his way to pit road. Believe he is calling it quits for the night as well. We have coming to 29 laps to go this next time by. We are still caution-free. Race number 16. Aaron Raymond, Christopher Howell are also sitting about half a second separated for number 2 on the grid. At the moment, those are the only active ongoing battles we've got as it stands in the field. As we get set up for round 3 and our final round of green flag stops on the night. Julian Ballou will also hit pit road from the number 16 spot. 4 laps down and effectively down and out of the fight after he found himself tanking the outside wall at some point during what was a hefty run. Meanwhile, Aaron Raymond will also come to pit road right at lap 75. So 26 laps to go. And Raymond will come in for his final stop of the afternoon. He took 2 tires on the first, 4 tires on the second. Will it be 2 or 4 this time around? As he'll make his way down into pit road, see the jacks go up. Will it be right sides for sure? So we got at least 2 going on the truck. And it'll be 4. 4 sets of tires for Aaron Raymond. Meanwhile, Brennan Gregg and Moore coming down to the lane. In fact, here comes pretty much everybody as over half the grid pits within 1 lap of each other. The Badger race crew are also into pit road. This time Dingler makes it in without being run over by his teammates. His pit road as busy as it has been all night long so far. Usually we see that in the first one of pit stops, not the last, but hey, here we are. We have everybody deciding to pit on the same strategy. And again, no 2-tire stop looking to be the call this time around. And for the most part, everybody working their way back out onto the racetrack. Aaron Raymond flies around all of them, and he will score the race lead out of pit road. Raymond picks up the lead, 6/10 clear of Christopher Howell. And looking to run away with that now throughout these last 24 laps. Bobby Blowers making a move on Brad Slagle as well. Slagle, by the way, who has made his way up several spots now after spinning it out on lap number 1 and finding himself spinning to the inside of the track. That said, Slagle is yet to pit, so he is going to be finding himself going down a lap yet before the end of this one. What about Brennan Gregg looking to make the move on Christopher Howell? He'll shoot through to second as Christopher Howell falls back to third. Aaron Raymond has not been able to take too much of a chunk out of the lead for the top 3 here. That said, though, he has been steadily reeling that gap in more and more over the last few weeks, and Raymond's been saying he just needs to avoid mistakes, especially on pit road. He has avoided all such mistakes here tonight and is looking to close that gap in just a bit further as he tries to reel in Christopher Howell to fight for the points lead properly. Some battle starting to close in. Robert Jordan losing down to Matt Cherry as Cherry will power through on the bottom. Robert Jordan, like Brad Slagle, is yet to make a stop. So he's looking to see if he can't, I guess, try to stretch it out. Maybe. Be amazed if he could, but he's not showing any signs of pitting here with about 20 laps to go. So he'll keep working it along through the bottom. Meanwhile, Bobby Blowers and Ryan Dingler looking like they might be looking to get into a scrap. Of course, tonight's race ends out the month of July. And we'll get set to kick off our August run-in on Green Flag TV. For the TNGG IEL Truck Series, we'll head first in the Nashville Super Speedway, where I do believe DJ Clark may be back in the booth by then. It'll be either that or the Great Lakes 180 at Michigan 1 week from then. Go back to short track racing at the Martinsville Speedway for the Paperclip 210. We have not visited there since May 20th. Back for race number 7. And we'll close out August with the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for a 100-lapper. To the outside goes Blowers, trying to get up and around Dingler. Dingler still working the bottom, though. Coming on down in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. Again, leading on the door, Gore, Buwalda, Jordan all into the lane for their final stops on the afternoon. Less than 20 to go. Dingler's not letting Blowers get away easily here. Blowers not showing like he's looking to give up the fight, though. He'll back out, potentially looking for a crossover. And can't. Oh, Blowers to the outside wall, and that'll cause him to lose momentum. Fights on for the lead as well. Brad Slagle looking to make that move towards the outside, the inside, let by the leaders Raymond and Gregg. You can tell that he was trying to check up Aaron Raymond. That's allowed Brandon Gregg to close right to the back bumper with 15 laps to go. The 27 going to look for the inside of Aaron Raymond. And now going to defend way to the bottom. Brandon Gregg looking for the high side down to 3 and 4. If he can make this move stick, it could be huge. He'll switch back to the inside. Coming off of turn number 4. Can't find a hole. Slagle will take it to the lane. 14 laps to go, and Gregg is all over the number 6. Raymond still trying to hang on to the race lead but it's such a struggle for him right now. And right behind them is the fight for 13th between Robert Jordan and John Buwalda Jr. To the inside goes Gregg now. Can he get the lead done here? This time behind in the last couple of corners. Side by side through 3 and 4. back out down the front straightaway. Raymond again holding the top, closing in. But Brandon Gregg will lead lap number 87. Gregg will look to the inside of Aaron Raymond as the 6 trying to keep with the 27. Gregg working to the bottom, Raymond up on top, and I think finally Brandon Gregg back to the point. Aaron Raymond falls to second. Still plus 12 though, and crucially still in front of Christopher Howell. Robert Jordan looks to the bottom lane of the number 74 in the meantime, as he is still embroiled in his fight with John Buwalda Jr. So the fight for 12 is right in the mix of this as well. And now Buwalda going to look to the inside. Robert Jordan going to go with him. They're going to unlap themselves from race leader Brandon Gregg. This fight going to continue to rage on right down to the wire. You can feel it coming. John Buwalda Jr. not able to break away from Robert Jordan. Jordan not able to get around Buwalda. As they continue to make moves, Jordan tried for the inside. No dice. This is the closest fight on the racetrack at the moment, shy of this one between Blowers and Grant Peterson for number 6 on the racetrack, with Ryan Dingler about 3/4 of a second up the road. Still got Brandon Gregg and Aaron Raymond working it to the outside line. Coming to 5 laps to go, this time by off of turn number 4. Brandon Gregg continues to build the gap out over Aaron Raymond, looking for win number 2 on the season after taking the first win in the Do 80 over at the Bristol Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago. It was a long and hard-fought first win for Brandon Gregg. Fell short of it at Charlotte, where Raymond absolutely crushed the field. But this time, Brandon Gregg looking to be right back into the fray. We're coming to 4 to go. John Bualda Jr. still losing time back to Robert Jordan as we work our way with 3 laps left to go. And this time by, you see Jordan getting a bit more desperate, looking for the inside. While John Bualda Jr. maintains his strong drive up in 12th. Catching Julian Ballou. Will he have a hand to play in this? Jordan looking right, looking left, looking for the inside. Can he throw one down the inside of one? No, he cannot. But now Ballou holding him up. All of a sudden, this is a big opportunity here for Robert Jordan. Going to close it in. Look out. Ballou into the outside wall. Bualda scrambles. Here comes Jordan. Trying to make it happen down to 3 and 4. Bualda to the outside wall. Jordan back to the bottom. Side by side for 12th, but Ballou gets in the way. Final lap starting this time by Brandon Gregg right behind this battle pack. And Bualda going to get checked up behind the Ballou. That may very well be game over. Brandon Gregg, meanwhile, took the lead early on. Managed to maintain it all throughout the pit stop runs. Bested Raymond on the strategy this week. He'll come through turn number 4. It is Brandon Gregg to take the win and $100 in the TNGG Bluegrass 100. Bobby Blowers, meanwhile, on a last-minute dive up the inside of Ryan Dingler, making the move for 5th. Gonna track up and almost get into the door of the 45. You will get into the door. They're gonna touch down the front straightaway to the tri-oval, but Blowers will outlast the number 45. Excellent run for all drivers involved. Brandon Gregg works to the inside, and he will take a commanding race win. He'll work his way to the front straightaway, and it will be Brandon Gregg to be able to burn it down in front of Sparta. As Brandon Gregg will celebrate on the front straightaway, we will be able to take a rundown of your official post-race results here from an absolute barn burner day over at the Kentucky Speedway. And at the end of everything, it all shakes up a little something like this, with Brandon Gregg taking race win over Aaron Raymond. Christopher Howell will pick it up in 3rd. Matt Cherry was in 4th, with Bobby Blowers back in 5th to round out the top 5. It was the likes, excuse me, losing my words here a little bit. It was the number 45, Ryan Dingler in 6th, Grant Peterson in 7th, Thomas Lane Jr. in 8th. Casey Ellis will round out the top 10 along with Greg Pillar, Chris Gore, Robert Jordan, John Bualda Jr., Brad Salego, Tristan Bayer, Julian Ballou will round out the cars on the racetrack, and RG Buchanan finishes this race 1 lap down. So all of that said and done, and another amazing race of the TNGG IEL Truck Series is in the books. We'll get the chance to talk to everybody here at the end of this one, and we'll be able to kick things off with the likes of Brandon Gregg, who is going to join us up here in Victory Lane in just a moment once we can get in touch with the number 27 truck. A hard-fought race, but one that Brandon Gregg this time able to claim victory on for win number 2 of the season. Brandon Gregg, you joined us up here now, and what a night it was overall for you. 2nd win of the season in just 3 weeks. It's got to feel good this time to be able to best a guy like Aaron Raymond on strategy in the closing laps.
Yeah, absolutely feels great for this one. Glad to have the speed this time. Aaron, I thought, had me on strategy for a while, but was able to reel him in at the end.
It's going to no doubt be a great race for you overall, and you're going to be looking back at this one fondly. But you had a bit of a fierce fight there with Christopher Howell for a little while. What gave you that decision eventually to make a move on your teammate, especially one that's going for a points lead here?
I knew I was quicker, so I thought I'd try and go up the inside of him. It ended up working out. glad he managed to finish P3 out of all that, though.
And it's going to, I think, be an interesting race when we get set to go back to the Nashville Super Speedway for the Blues 150 1 week from now over on August 5th. We kick off the month of August with another concrete beast just like Dover. Do you reckon you'll be able to go back-to-back and go for win number 3?
I sure hope so. Had some decent runs doing this, or doing Nashville in the kind of winter series that was going on. I won that, so hopefully I can do that again for this upcoming race.
Well, fingers crossed, we'll be seeing you back in victory lane soon. For now, though, congratulations on the race win from Kentucky. We'll let you get back to celebrating.
Thank you.
That was Brendan Gregg joining us up here from Victory Lane. We will move on down to the number 6 car of Aaron Raymond, who will join us up now for the number 2 spot. And Aaron, it is unfortunately second place for you, but overall you still managed to, I think, just barely close that gap and a little bit more to Christopher Howell. And I think at the end of the day, as long as you're finishing in front of the number 1, it's still a successful afternoon.
Yeah, with how qualifying went, I expected to be in the back the whole race, but somehow I made my way up to the front. I think I was 5th by lap 2.
Yeah, you got up there pretty quickly. It was the most spots gained by far on the day, plus 12 for you, matched only by Blowers going up 10 after he started back in 15th. What's it like having to fight your way through the field in such quick succession like that?
It was a balance of trying to save my equipment, but at the same time getting up while I still had the grip. And yeah, it was just kind of a balancing act, and I pulled it off. It's just I didn't really have anything for Brendan.
Next week we go racing at the Nashville Super Speedway. Obviously, last week at Charlotte it was pure domination for you, and you didn't quite get the win over at Dover, our last big concrete track. Do you reckon you'll be able to go for another race win though here at Nashville in a week's time?
And I don't really think so. Top 5 will be good, but next 2 weeks after that is Martinsville and New Hampshire. I've got a good shot at winning those.
Well, fingers crossed you'll get some wins coming up pretty soon here. You can be able to close that gap and more and give us one heck of a fight for the points lead here in the closing races. Congratulations again on that second place. We'll let you get back to work.
Thank you.
As Aaron Raymond, the driver out of Highgate, Vermont, at the Camping World Chevrolet Silverado. We're going to move on down to Christopher Howell, the driver that finished 3rd on the podium, and he was one of the few drivers that finished where he started. Christopher Howell will wrap out your podium tonight, and overall, Chris, a pretty quiet day for the Techford Troops number 1.
Yeah, it's a good finish. I mean, I'll take a 3rd. I kind of shot myself in the foot there the last pit cycle. I took 2 tires. I think if I would have took 4 tires, I might have had some. So, but it is what it is. I'll take the 3rd. Sure, I lost maybe a couple points to Aaron tonight, but still good finish for myself, especially with no practice time. So.
You mentioned, of course, you lost a few points back to Aaron Raymond here in this one, but you still have a very healthy gap in the overall points championship. I believe it was almost 40 entering tonight. It'll probably be closer to 35 or so entering next week at the Nashville Super Speedway. What do you think you're going to have to do to make sure you can build that gap back out to make sure he's not a threat come these last 5 races?
Well, unfortunately, duty calls. So, I have to do some work here on the weekends, and I'm sure I'm going to miss a couple races. And, if he doesn't miss any races, he's going to get it, and he's going to run away with it. So, but, it is what it is. Life first.
Now, life first indeed. With that in mind, can we expect to see you at the Nashville Super Speedway 1 week from now?
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to be gone, but, if I'm here, I'll be there.
Well, hopefully we'll be seeing you there, and hopefully we'll be seeing you for plenty more races throughout the course of the season. Well driven tonight. Congratulations on the 3rd place.
Thank you, Nolan. Have a good night.
It's Christopher Howell out of Moyoka, North Carolina, joining us up here from Victory Lane in the not Victory Lane, but on the podium in the number 3 spot. And that's going to about do it for our show then here tonight. And what a show it was. A caution-free race. I think one of the tamest races we've had all season long. But hey, you sometimes need the tame races. They help to make those thrilling races all the more exciting to go back and watch. Overall, it's going to be an even more intense swing in this field as we get set to go racing over the Nashville Super Speedway 1 week from now at the TNGG IEL Truck Series. And as well as that, as we get set to kick off the month of August here on Green Flag TV, you can tune in to the OMS Xfinity Series racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway over on Tuesday, August 1st at 5:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Speed Cup Series will return to the Michigan International Speedway for race number 14. From now, though, here from the Kentucky Speedway in Sparta, my name is Manolo Rampo. Thank you for joining us on Green Flag TV. We will see you all next time when we go racing in the Music City.